Episode 5 with Oly Ruiz of Metrophoto. You're listening to Kendrick Loves to Brand, the branding podcast featuring stories and lessons from entrepreneurs and brand builders so you can get inspiration, insights, strategies, and tactics as you create your own game-changing brand. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Kendrick Loves to Brand. We are here with my good friend Oly Ruiz of Metrophoto, the legend. So before anything else, I met Oly back in 2012 or mga late 2011 when we were planning our wedding. And to be honest, parang hindi ako masyado familiar with mga wedding photographers or videographers before. So my fiancé, my wife Ellen, was very adamant, as in yung number one na talagang gusto niyang makuha is si Oly. So I remember pa nga kasi well in Chinese sa culture parang may mga pinipiling date, di ba? So parang inantay lang namin makuha yung date. And then the moment we had the date, the very first thing si Ellen did was contact si Oly to make sure na available si Oly for our date kasi yun. So I'm very happy kasi since then, Oly and I become friends. We share a common passion also for branding. Siyempre, he's applying it to his field. I'm applying it in my own field. So yun, Oly, welcome to the show. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you, Kendrick. I'm happy to be part of your podcast, no. And yun, it's very nice to know na hindi ko ata alam yung kwento ni Ellen na yan, pero it's nice to know that ever since mga 8 years ago, 8 years ago, no. So we've kept in touch, no. Tas yun, I've seen your family grow, my family grow, parang, and then we've kept in touch. We kept in touch. So yun, very excited. Thank you.
So good to start with. For the very few people out there who haven't heard of wedding photographers and the man, the myth that is Oly Ruiz, how do you normally introduce yourself to somebody that you're meeting for the first time?
Medyo medyo odd. So parang kasi it depends. So parang every time when I meet a person na lang, when they ask me what I do, parang I just tell them that I'm a photographer and I mainly shoot talaga weddings. So yun lang, I'm a wedding photographer. And then sometimes okay naman na yun parang I don't have parang i-describe mo pa ba, pero parang it stops there. Pero if he asks more, then I tell him that we do a lot of weddings here in the Philippines and then destination shoots, so things like that. So parang
So how did you start? Like, was this something you were into since you were young, or like how did you decide to become a wedding photographer?
Parang ang photography talaga started for me in 2006. So it's fairly recent, no. 2006 I was working, working as an engineer in Intel. So it was a hobby that I started. And nainggit lang ako sa isang college batchmate ko na also workmate ko na noon. He was doing photography as well. Yung mga point and shoot cameras lang during that time. Tapos he was posting it in I forgot pero hindi pa Flickr yun. He was sharing it, tapos sobrang inggit na inggit ako. Sabi ko, ganun pala yung photography na parang you can shoot anything lang and it's really, what do you call that? It captivates you, so parang na-obsess ako. So hobby and then naging obsession siya. So, nung time na naging obsession siya, parang I really wanted to do it parang constantly. So, that's kind of like how it started.
So, was it like you're shooting during the weekends?
Yun, parang any opportunity talaga that we got. So in the office, so parang we formed a photography club, no. So any opportunity for us to shoot in the office, so parang sige, profiles ng lahat ng HR people, ganyan, mga new hires, gawin natin yan. May parang may parang employee meet up, parang ganyan, so cover natin yung event na yan, parang ganyan. Tapos we were so into it, no. Tapos so that's where I get to practice it, and then since it became an obsession for me, lahat talaga ng lahat ng alam ko na workshop ina-attendan ko. Lahat talaga, so parang we look for workshops online, and kahit na hindi ko maintindihan ano ba yung tuturo doon, I just attended. So in a span of maybe mga 6 months, I attended mga 7-8 workshops, lahat ng available. And then, to be honest, hindi ko nga naintindihan yung ibang tinuturo doon kasi bago pa lang ako, di ba? So parang gusto ko lang, parang sobrang lang ako obsessed, parang ganyan. And then yun, and then somewhere throughout that time, parang na-realize ko na parang, siguro parang wedding, I wanna do weddings, ganyan. So, ganyan.
So when from 2006 that you started, parang becoming obsessed with this new hobby nga, from 2006, how long before you started Metrophoto?
I started Metrophoto, I think in less than a year. So 2007 kasi officially Metrophoto started parang ganyan. So I wanted to parang I feel na parang kaya ko na, I had the confidence. Parang when I do workshops, I always say my hot point number 1 is always confidence is key, no? So I felt na parang kaya ko na yan, parang I'll start it, parang I would not wait, parang ganyan. So yun, 2007 I started Metrophoto, and aside from photography kasi I'm really into I don't have a formal training in branding, pero I really, for somehow I'm captivated with branding, so parang this is the first chance for me to brand something, parang ganyan. So parang, sige, parang photography, paano ko ba ipapackage yung photography company that I would do. So, yun, those two things that I'm really parang into, parang I was able to put together and apply.
So I was just gonna ask that nga, like, because mostly like when people do, let's say, photography or yung mga ganong skilled na businesses, diba? Parang the normal path is to name it after yourself, diba? So why did you decide to call it Metrophoto and not, let's say, Oly Ruiz Photography or something?
That's a good question. I think yun na nga, I felt that everyone was doing it the same way, so I wanted to be different. So parang, what if I use Oly Ruiz Photography, then it's just gonna be another name, no? And the thing is, my name is not very recognizable. It doesn't stand out. It's Oly Ruiz, so parang it's short. That's a plus. But if you compare me, for example, who were popular then, like for example, yung ginagamit na example is Dino Lara. Yung Dino Lara, it sounds so artistic, di ba, Lara? Para siyang, parang pag tinabi mo yung pangalan ko sa kanya, parang mas magaling si Dino Lara. Parang ganyan, parang mas siya, national artist ang sounding, parang ganyan. So, I wanted to do something na medyo a little more catchy, parang ganyan. And this is like another reason why I did that. There's this guy who's also doing wedding photography. He's also an engineer in Intel where I was working. Nauna siya sa akin ng konti. So he was doing na in Batangas. And then the name of his company is No Film, but spelled backwards. So parang Lefon, parang ganyan. It's parang siyang French na hindi mo maintindihan. Parang, okay yun, parang catchy, parang, di ba, something na parang, why is your name like that? So it's a conversation piece. So parang, I want something like that. So medyo na-inspire ako doon, and then I didn't want to use my name. So parang hanap na lang ako ng parang brand ko, parang ganyan.
So how did you settle on like Metrophoto as the brand name? Like, did you have other options? Do you still remember if you have other?
I think the options were I think sorry Tion, the Metrophoto was parang when I thought about the name Metrophoto, parang siya na agad parang if it's the one. Yeah. But I really got that from actually uso ang Metro noon, parang there's Metro Cab, Metro Salon, Metro Bank, di ba? So everyone's doing Metro. There's Metro Magazine, no? Yeah, right. So parang I was driving, tapos nakita ko actually, to be honest, a Metro Salon. So I was driving, parang shit, wala pang Metrophoto. So parang I like the name because it's so fitting, because Metro, it means it's modern, no? It's urban, so parang it's something that's my style din. Parang feeling ko ganun ko introduce very modern and parang let's say urban yung style. And then it also sounds a little more sophisticated, no? Kasi there's Metro Magazine, very fashion forward ganyan. So it merges two, so parang it makes sense for me to use that. So parang sige, Metrophoto tayo, parang ganyan.
Okay. So now you have the brand name, you decided to go for it. How did you get your first client? Like, do you still remember who your first client?
Yes, of course, I remember my first client. So I started before I was doing kasi all of other things, I do food photography, any photography opportunity I shoot, no. So apart from those, parang I shoot like my friend's restaurant and everything. So from there, I was saying, I'm doing photography, and if you want to do weddings, I can do it. So the first few clients that I got, actually first three were all pregnant brides, no? Parang they were really in a hurry to find a photographer. Parang wala nang kahit sino na lang. So they were referred to me na parang itong kaibigan ko nagbahanap parang kahit sino, kahit na sobrang mura lang basta ma-shoot lang yung wedding.
Okay.
So I got those. Those were my first guys. Pero of course I took that as an opportunity to really parang show something, no. So so maski yung isang bride buntis, sige, let's shoot in the railway station. Parang ganon, parang iba, parang yan. So, yun, I think that started it. And then, those shoots that I did that are like that, medyo they caught the attention of a forum, brides forum, it's Weddings at Work, and people started talking about me, and that's where it really started.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So, you've been doing this for, a long time now. You're at the top of your game. What do you think is the secret to your success?
To be honest, parang I feel that it's really of course hard work, no. Talaga everything's hard work. There's always a certain, luck will always help, but it's always hard work. And for me, it's efficiency, no. I feel that the resource that you have is always limited, eh. And even though you work so hard to to accomplish something, it's the use of those resources, no. How efficiently do you use them to really go somewhere or attain your goals, parang ganyan.
So like, how do you apply that? Let's say, typical project na you're handling a couple, like how does that come into play? Like when you say lack of resources, being efficient, or what do you do, or how do you adjust to situations like that?
So it's always what is the most I can do with a certain what's given to me, no, parang ganyan. So for example, before let's say we want to do something different, parang it's you plan, no. So I always plan for the shoots that I'm gonna do. So I have to make sure, for example, na a certain what do you call that? How do I describe it? I feel that parang I spend before when I was starting out, parang of course I didn't have what I have then was time, no? I have time because I wasn't so busy, no. So parang what I do is I prepare. So parang I plan for the shoot. If I can ocular the place, I'll ocular it so that when we go there for the shoot itself, parang it's super fast and I know what to do na, parang ganyan. So those are the things that I always did before. So parang I get to anticipate what are things that are going to happen, and because of that, I get to shoot something better all the time, no. So parang as opposed to a person probably who's busy, parang who just go there and then shoot at that moment, parang with me, because I spend time and then I make sure that I make the most out of that situation, that particular shoot. I get to produce results. I get pictures that are more different, parang ganyan, than what usual people get. Yeah.
So is that something that you think, because aside from having worked with you also for our own prenup and wedding, I've seen a lot of your shoots. You've shot also a lot of my friends, and of course, I've followed your career also. You tend to have shots that are out of this world, na kakaibang . So is that something that you consciously plan na, okay, so this couple, since we're shooting in this area, I'm gonna make sure that it's parang...
Yeah. I think thanks for recognizing that, but I think that's how I am as a person. I always if I'm in a certain situation, how will I make this different? Parang what does everybody else do, and then how do I do something else? So it's always like that. That's the same thing with how I did my name, no, my company name. So everything was doing their name, they're using their own names, and then if everyone's doing that, how will I be different? So same thing with pictures. So if I go to a certain spot, a certain location, and in the Philippines we do go to the same places naman to do prenups, diba? So well, if I can find a separate what do you call that, location, then that's fine. But if I have to shoot like before in La Mesa Dam, if I have to shoot in a certain in Luneta or in Manila Bay, where everyone else shoots, what I do is I go there, I think about all the possible shots that everyone else will do, and then I eliminate those. And then from there, I pick it up. What else can be done here? So it's always like that.
So when you say you look at all the possible shots that other people have done, is it like literally seeing what they've done already, or are you sort of visualizing? These are the parang, let's say, are you sort of checking off a list na ito yung mga first type of shots that
it's a combination of that. So definitely you've seen naman a picture when you go to the internet, you see certain shots na that are typical, and then of course when you're there you also imagine what else could have probably been done here. So yun, and then I kind of take them off, and then for this angle, this is probably what we can do something a little bit different, ganyan. So yun, a little change here and there, and then when you put them all together, then the shoot becomes so different na, parang ganyan.
Okay. I think that even shows like minsan nagko-comment ako sa mga Instagram mo na yung mga family shots.
Ayun, so parang it got extended to that. No? So parang with my family, when we go abroad, parang actually it was consciously done before, because before I just shoot my clients, parang ganda ng pictures ng clients, but with my family I never get to shoot us, no, parang ganyan. So parang sige, parang sayang naman when we travel, so let's parang shoot it like how I will shoot like a certain client.
So how do you do it? Who's operating the camera? Or is it naka-timer?
So ngayon, the most efficient way we do it, before we set up a tripod, and then I have an app, and then it's on my phone, then I see the composition there, parang now it's it's on top of a stroller or wherever we put it there, and then I set it up. It's very it's very efficient na. So parang I just post it, parang ganyan. I post everyone, and then timer na lang, tatakbo na lang kami, parang ganyan. So hindi na siya masyado kasing, it's not as perfect as before. It's more relaxed now, the shot. So it's nicely composed, but it's not as perfect. So mas madali na siyang gawin.
So how long does it take to capture?
Sandali na lang din kasi nga may kids, parang may time din na parang parang nagpi-picture na lang kami, hindi kami nagbabakasyon, parang ganyan. So there was a time like that. So medyo nagigilty din ako. So ngayon, what we do, basta one day, we have a set of even the colors of our clothes, per day we medyo naka-plan siya. So parang at the start of the day, we shoot na 1 or 2 shots, and then wala na. So parang lang tapos na, parang ganyan.
So the whole day you're not asking them, one more shot here.
No more na. And I realized before na I shoot so many shots, and you don't get to post everything naman eh. Yeah. So parang natatambak lang sa hard drive. So parang 1 or 2 are fine, parang ganyan. Parang may memory lang on that when you go back, parang ganyan.
Nice.
Pero yun, I mean, with Lorian is 5 years old now. Parang she's starting to to listen to me. It was hard when she was like 2 or 3. Talagang yun. Parang it's hard to post her. She won't listen to me. Parang basta sabihin ko, parang wala siyang pakialam. So ngayon, it's getting better na rin, easier.
We're at the stage now with Elian also.
Kaya nga, naalala ko.
He's always posting, he's into Spider-Man now. So lahat ng post, kahit sabihin mo lang, just stand there and smile. Naka-Spider-Man post lagi. So
that's true.
Pero before, when he was like mga 2, ganyan, talagang smile, ganun, madali lang. Bilang ngayon, he's at stage now na gusto niya lagi, kailangan naka-post na Spider-Man, kailangan mukhang galit lagi.
So parang ista lang si Lorian din, ganyan. So parang yung post niya, parang masi-serious kami, or parang, kunyari interacting, siya isa lang yung post niya. Wala siyang pakialam sa akin, parang sa amin, parang ganun.
You've shot, okay, before starting the interview, I checked online. There's 195 countries in the world. Mm-hmm. How many have you shot at?
Okay, so medyo this might sound parang tacky that I know the number, but my daughter kasi is kind of like that. So she asked me last year, parang Daddy, I'm counting the countries that I've been to. Sabi niya ganyan, parang I'm 11 years old and I've been only to 9 countries. My country should be more than my age. Sabi niya ganyan. So sabi niya, how many have you been to? So I counted it. So it was 44 last year, and then I think then I have 2 more this year. So it's 46. Yes, right. 46.
So how long do you think it will take for you to complete 195?
Parang in another 95 years. No, but I think it comes to a point where it doesn't make sense for you to go to different country anymore. You just have to repeat another country. Parang sometimes this discussion come up, parang gusto mo ba makapunta sa 195 countries, pero there are other countries that are for me not worth going to eh. Okay. Diba? So totoo lang, para lang masabi ko lang na nakapunta ako dun. So it's not like that anymore. I think parang right now parang it's more content na lang yun, and then it's more like it's better to just, for example, I go to Japan like over and over again, something like that. So I think that's how it is na parang, I think hindi na siya, I mean, it comes to a point na parang, tama na yun. Parang
so we're not going to ever see Metrophoto in North Korea or something?
Well, North Korea is, I think, to be honest, it's worth going to for a shoot. Parang, it's impactful, parang it's something that people don't do, parang ganyan. Sure. So probably there, I would go there. I probably won't go to, I don't know, Laos or something like that. I don't know what's there, but it's probably way down the list, no? Parang ganyan, if ever, parang ganyan. Or something like that. So yun, may mga, I think North Korea, yan, pwede puntahan. I don't know what else. some Eastern European country siguro.
So calling all mga future couples, si Oly wants to shoot in North Korea.
I've actually proposed that like a couple of years ago na parang I researched and you can actually go there to shoot. I mean, you actually go there for tourism and it's safe, no? It's safe naman. So parang I proposed that to like a few clients, parang ganyan. Tapos parang walang wala naniwala sa akin na parang pwede. So,
kung wala, siguro kami na lang ni Ellen sa 10th anniversary namin.
Malapit na yun,
Kinamit na yun. Sige, may iba naman tayo. Siguro, so you've been doing this for 12 years now. What's the toughest adversity you've had to deal with? Siyempre, like, a lot of people see all the success. Diba? But I think when it comes to entrepreneurship, and even in your field, it's very competitive also. Diba? It's halos every weekend, you have clients, parang you have to keep leveling up your game, diba? Looking at your journey this past 12 years, what's the toughest adversity or challenge that you've had to deal with, and how did you overcome it?
Kaya I mentioned about being lucky, no? I felt na parang totoo medyo swerte din ako, parang when I first started out, siguro my first 7-8 years, parang it was continuous growth. There are some times na medyo mabagal, pero sometimes mabilis, pero technically it was really just parang a rise for us, no, ever since. So medyo swerte. Pero yun nga, I think the mga early 2016, parang medyo we had a challenge, no, parang I really felt na parang our relevance was being taking a dip, no, parang yan, so umihina siya, parang yan, so medyo that was a concern for me, parang yan during that time.
Why what happened during that time? Like
I feel na talaga parang the bookings were, kasi every year for the years before that, parang alam mo naman your booking is strong, you can feel na parang the presence and the clients that you get, talaga na malakas, parang ganyan na even though there are competition, na parang the brand is strong, and there's demand, no, and the people who demand you are parang really parang these are the clients that you want. So parang during that time, parang I feel na parang napupunta na sa ibang clients. Tapos parang the bookings are not that many, parang ganyan. So I feel na parang something's wrong. Parang I really can feel it na parang it's taking a dip. Parang it's not yet there. People still feel that we're like on top of our game, like we're on the top of the group. But I know internally na parang it's gonna collapse anytime soon, parang ganyan. So because of that, parang I feel na parang wala na masyadong bookings na parating eh. Wala na rin yung inquiry din mahina, parang ganyan. So parang it was really a cause of concern. Panic talaga for me.
So what did you do to address it? How did you overcome that?
I think yun na nga, parang naisip ko doon, parang I have to parang for me talaga yun. For me, matter of yun talaga. That's the most important thing for me is life and death. Kasi parang this is the business, so this is what keeps us alive, parang ganyan. So parang inisip ko, parang I'll tackle it head on, parang ganyan. So yun, ang ginawa ko doon, because I was an engineer by profession, I have experience with root cause analysis, mga ganyan. So I did that, like all those that I've experienced. So we did that. I identified around, to be honest, 18 to 20 possible causes of why it's happening, para ganyan. And talaga parang maski unlikely cause pero possible cause siya, parang ganyan. To be honest, itong office though, I never had a real office for the longest time. Sabi mo, parang I'm a top wedding photography brand, but I don't have an office, no? Para how can you command such price and you don't have an office? So parang isip ko, issue kaya yun? Is that an issue that people think that I don't have an office and it's not worth it? Parang yan. So that's the reason why I have an office now. So parang I have to cross out all those 18 items eh. So that's what I did. So everything.
So all the list, the 18.
We did, yeah. I crossed that out. So parang I want to make sure that even if it continues to like, if I continue to like, what do you call that, fade into the horizon, I know that I did everything, no? Parang there's no regret. So parang I close all possible issues, parang ganyan.
Yes, I like that mindset. I think that's something all of us, like all entrepreneurs, can learn from, yung ganung approach na leaving no stone, diba?
Unturned yan, parang ganyan. It's pretty daunting. Saka parang syempre, your resources are also starting to dwindle eh. Kasi wala yan. Tapos parang then you need money to actually address all of these, no? So parang it's hard, parang ganyan. But you have to really, parang really, confront it head on talaga.
And I think that's a valuable lesson kasi like even ako, I've experienced a lot, like in the 11 years that I've been doing like my own thing. I think it's almost impossible not to experience yung ganyang severe na challenge that makes you question whether, ano ba, tutuloy ko pa ba? Should I give up? Diba? And I think, I think that's where the learnings really come from, is yung deciding, hindi, I'm gonna push through, I'm gonna figure it out, diba? There's always another move, so, ano yun? Ano yung move na yun? So I have to keep just pushing. And I think in your case, as with all successful entrepreneurs, being able to identify the problems and then solving them.
Yeah, one by one.
One by one. So parang I think that's why you're in this position again. Diba?
Yeah, so parang yun, I completely agree kayo doon. So parang I feel nga na parang, to be honest, ano na rin siya naging blessing. We came out of that issue parang even better. So right now, parang because of that, I actually strengthened the team. No? Parang I got Dino Lara because of that. That's why Dino is part of my team now. I promoted Paolo. So right now, we are really better. No? And of course, I got to look at all my operations, the branding, what's wrong, so inayos namin lahat. So we came out of that an even better company. So parang, parang buti na rin nangyari. Parang ganyan. I think, parang before, kasi I think it came to a point na medyo comfortable na rin parang ganon. So ngayon, yan. So parang, you cannot be comfortable. Saka, to add to that, before, parang, ang dali lang din sabihin na, ay, ayoko na mag-wedding photography. Sige, iba naman. Kasi actually, my barbershop din was doing very well. My first batch din, sa parang, sabi ko, ito na lang siguro, hindi na, parang, ayoko na harapin yan. Parang, sige, sa kanila na yung wedding photography kasi parang wala na Parang, it was so easy to do that. Parang, hindi na lang, parang yan. Pero, yun nga, parang, I feel that, I owe it to what I put up to the brand that's there na, parang, pababayaan ko lang ba. So, yun, we tried and, it worked out naman.
So you mentioned the barbershop, no? That's also something you've been doing aside from Metrophoto. So you have Union Station Barbershop. Can you tell us why you decided to go into that space, and how did that process go? Like in terms of deciding and then starting it, creating the brand.
So I think with the barbershop, I feel na parang I'm always into how do I say that? But I'm into photography, right? But I'm also into like really gentleman stuff, no? Parang yan. So like suits, ganyan, like haircuts and everything. So parang I feel na parang it's something that parang sort of a hobby rin sa akin. So parang if photography started as a hobby and then this one is also what I like. So parang what business can we do with this one? That particular barbershop was just inspired by me reading GQ magazines, and GQ opened a barbershop in Brooklyn before. And I said, there's nothing like that in Manila yet. Parang ganyan. But apparently, I think a lot of people saw that. So, naging uso siya, no? Barbershops, no? Parang daming meron. So, parang, although that was 2014. So, parang Felipe was the first of Philippine Sans. And then, yeah, those barber dasheries came up. So, I feel naman na parang I'm good with with what we did with Metrophoto. Of course, it's a brand so parang it's the overall customer experience. I can do that still with with what I call with the barbershop. So parang I don't have to be the only one there, no. It's good nga that it's growing. So we did that for Union Station, and it worked out naman. So I think the brand ever since up until now it's strong. What we do is we've taken care of the brand since 2014 up until now. We make sure that it's really what do you call that? It's strong, it's reputable, and right now from 2 years ago I started to kasi isip ko everyone's a barbershop, no? Parang what's my barbershop? How is my barbershop different, no? Yeah. Because everyone's the same, to be honest, no? Parang everyone's probably is good with branding. They have good barbers, and then they offer coffee, everything. They offer these services. So parang how is mine different? So parang I feel na parang the coffee parts where I can what do you call that? I can separate myself. So right now we are a specialty coffee shop and a specialty barbershop. So specialty coffee meaning it's third wave. So it's like Toby's Estate, Yardstick, Craft Coffee. So it's kind of like that. So you don't find that in any other barbershop. So we're the only one who's that. So we're a barber cafe now. So you can go to a barbershop, you can enjoy some coffee. But with Union Station, you can enjoy espresso-based third wave coffee, which is really, really good. So dun lang kami lang meron nun. So that's kind of like what we're offering in terms of how we're separating ourselves from the other side.
So how many branches do you have now? You have
I have two. Circuit Makati,
And
that's
in
the first one,
Eastwood.
and in Eastwood, parang ganyan. So,
So
yun.
how many do you plan to open pa in the next few years?
Yan eh, actually, walang weirdly wala akong goal dyan eh. So parang it's more of like if the two right now are okay. I mean, they're doing pretty well. So if we establish that and then we find another space, then we put up. I think the space is the driver. Well, of course, the driver is if your last branch is doing well. So it means you can do one more.
Yeah.
Right now, we're very conservative, so that's the idea. And then if it's doing well, and then now the space, no, the space is very critical. You know that, di ba? We always talk about that, Kendrick, before. Di ba? Samba okay, ganyan. Kasi that's what I learned in the very first branch that we did eh. That the space was so expensive. Even though the barber was doing very well, everything goes to the rent na lang. So kaya itong second and third ko, that's what I considered. Kaya yung first Kinloss na namin yun, we transferred it to Eastwood. So the two that we have right now are okay in terms of location and then space. So yun, ang third, it's to be honest, we're opening a small parang shop in Siargao. So by December, so it's gonna be like, it's more of a coffee shop and then just a two-seater barber shop, and then we'll add a few food there. So that's kind of like the idea. So right.
This is part of your efforts. You opened, I think last week, diba? A wedding.
A wedding, we opened Metrophoto. There we have a Metrophoto Siargao now. So because I saw the potential in Siargao, no? Have you been?
Not yet.
So yeah, parang nandun ka. Actually, most people, have you been? Every people who went there, parang yun, when they leave there, parang, I have to go back. There's something there, parang ganyan. So that's what I felt, no? And when I went there the first time, parang wala pa talagang photography company, but I feel na parang, it's gonna blow up soon. Talagang, that's the vibe eh. So, the first to market was the idea there. We're first to market in terms of photo, video, and planning services for weddings. So, I teamed up with a couple of people. So, we opened up an office. It's named Siargao Weddings. But it's Metrophoto, Cinema Works, and Weddings Factory. So for Island kasi, they wanna, typically people want to get all in one na eh. They don't wanna do separately. Correct. So we did that. So right now, we have already opened the office there. So and bookings are, there isn't much choice naman there kasi we're the first niya. So we're positive naman it will pick up. So that's the idea for Siargao. So yun. And then tapos parang since we have another space there, so why not we're there, so parang we have studied it already and we decided na we're starting like a small coffee shop lang there beside the office.
Beside the office. So parang like, at least when they go there, andun na yung complete experience.
Yeah, exactly. Saka wala, parang my partners, they wanted to like parang more reason to go back. Everyone wants to go there, so parang ganun.
Do you experience? I mean, you mentioned earlier in the interview that you believe that like confidence is the key, diba? Mm-hmm. But are you somebody who experienced self-doubt?
Yes, it has happened. Pero I feel na parang ako kasi parang I always paano ko sabihin yun? I'm very practical. I don't, paano ba sabihin yun? I don't really go for things that I feel na parang impossible. Parang medyo ganun ako. I know how to set expectations for myself. So parang yan. But of course, it's not perfect, no? There are times na parang shit, it failed. Parang how do I recover from this? Or parang how do I correct it? Parang ganyan. So, there are times that has happened. But what I do is, I focus on the times that I've actually made it happen, so that I feel confident again na parang you have failed now, but there are other times or much more other times where you have actually
succeeded,
did something right, no? So parang I focus on that instead, and I try to make it right from that perspective, parang ganun. Babawi ako, parang always that I hate failure, I hate losing, parang yan. So parang it motivates me more to do better pag ganun.
That's nice. Okay, when you first started getting into photography, was there a particular person that you looked up to, you idolize, or you were trying to pattern yourself after?
To be honest, before when I started photography, yung aesthetic talaga ni Dino Lara, kasi I attended his workshop for weddings. Actually, doon na sana para mag-wedding photography ako. Sabi ko kanina, di ba, I attended so many workshops, parang fashion ba to, food photography ba to, or landscape, parang when I attended Dino Lara's workshop, his approach kasi to wedding photography is so practical, na parang, I don't need the high-end equipments, I don't need the best laptops, parang ganyan. Weddings are just moments, you just capture it, no? That's how it is. So parang, wala akong pera. I'm an employee, no? I earn so meager. So parang, hindi ko kailangan ng equipment, parang wedding photography na lang ako. Parang si Dino Lara nga, ganyan lang yung gamit niya. Pero si Dino Lara siya, he charges hundreds of thousands of pesos, pero kaya niya. So parang, yun, that's why I got inspired. And yun, ang ganda ng pictures niya, di ba? So yun, I wanted to get him for my wedding before, 2004, but it was so expensive for me, parang ganyan. So I didn't get him. But, you know, I got to attend his workshop, and doon ko na-realize parang, okay, I'm gonna do ano na lang, wedding photography. So, aesthetic-wise, that's him, no? Pero, of course, I didn't wanna do Dino Lara style per se kasi gagayahin mo. So, also, during that time, si Mark Nick daw for Rogue Magazine, he's doing parang really sophisticated, super social, pero sexy pictures. Sobrang ganda-ganda din ako dun. So, para I kind of merge those two. So, that's why when you see my pictures, it's a little bit more sexy, sophisticated na wedding. So, that's kind of like my style when I started out.
Okay, this is not related to just photography lang, but given the chance to have a one-on-one mentoring session with anyone in the world, who would you choose and why?
This might be a bit a bit weird, but I watch a lot of Shark Tank. Do you watch Shark Tank?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So parang
Who's your favorite shark?
of course my favorite is I think my favorite is Robert.
Okay.
But I would have a one-on-one session with Kevin O'Leary.
With Mr. Wonderful.
Yes,
Okay.
parang that's so odd for me to say, pero I'm thinking na parang I want something given to me straight up eh. I don't want you to parang sugarcoat it to me. I just want you to tell me if it's a bad idea or a good idea, and how do I, what do I do with it. So I think Kevin will be like that, and that's also being efficient, no? Ayoko nang paligoy-ligoy pa, para at the same time tell me what I need to do or what's wrong, parang ganyan, and what's good, and then I feel that he's gonna be like that if I talk to him. Parang
I was expecting you to say Greg Popovich.
well, actually, he's second on my list,
Second
Greg
on your
Popovich.
list,
He's kind of like that too, right?
Yeah,
Parang,
correct.
but I just feel na parang more on the business side si Kevin. So,
Kevin.
yeah, but definitely leadership and everything, Greg Popovich, like how to handle people. So, yeah. Like when I teach about, I also do I do a lot of branding lectures with wedding photographers. No? So parang I tell them na parang when you put up your own brand, it's a combination of different brands naman, di ba? What inspire you? So parang for me, I always tell them that when it comes to aesthetics, for example, when it comes to teamwork, leadership, how to get the right people, it's San Antonio Spurs. No? That's kind of like my idol. Parang how do they put up the organization, how do they maintain the organization, and how do they do sustained excellence. So that's one. And then, for example, for services, I do I like the service of, for example, of Thai Airways. So how they are. And then when it comes to branding, I like W Hotels. Yeah. So it's a combination of all of those. Then that's where you get Metrophoto eh, parang ganyan. So that's what I tell them. So yun definitely San Antonio Spurs ganyan. Like yung mga sustained excellence, parati ko tinitingnan si Mariah Carey, Roger Federer, parang how do they keep it? How they are so good for such a long time? So ganun ko siya what keeps them at the top.
Like earlier when you were telling me about like experiencing that dip in 2016 and then how you sort of overcame it, I was thinking of trying. In my mind, I was relating it to the Spurs nga, diba? When they had that like catastrophic na loss noong 2013.
Yes, oo.
Diba? Sure, sakit sa'yo nun.
Oo, very heartbreaking.
And then like because to lose the championship in that way when you were like 28 seconds away from winning it, and then losing it pa. And then to be able to come back and win it next year, I think that was they always say out of all his championships or his achievements, that's probably the parang crowning achievement of Greg Popovich, diba?
Yes.
He was able to get that same group to believe in themselves again, go through the whole process again, then beat the same team.
Yeah,
diba?
actually obliterate them, no? Talagang
Diba?
in that fashion, di ba? So parang, as a fan, yung satisfaction mo dun talagang parang it erased all the stigma of the previous years loss eh, parang ganyan eh, talagang so yun ganon, parang
so parang in a way ganon din yung ginawa ng
Metrophoto. Oo nga no, parang yan, pero yun, so parang baka somehow parang subconsciously parang that actually parang inspired me or parang that pushed me na parang pwede yan, kaya mong ilaban yan, di ba? Pwede naman, parang ganon. So yun, galing oo nga.
You're obviously a busy guy. You have bookings, left and right. You have 2 barbershop cafes that you watch over, and you have 3 kids who you also are very hands-on with. What is your typical day like? Like, kung like when people see all that you do, parang isip nila wala ka na siguro ng time. Like how do you manage your time? Like, you know. So parang can you give us an idea of like your typical day? How do you stay productive? You know, how do you manage your time?
Yeah. Before, it's actually changed a lot for the last 2 years then because of that incident. No, before, kasi I feel that I spend so much time on my own projects, so I just edit for most of the time. I shoot, I edit, and then those are the things that take up most of my time. But right now, we've become more efficient, so I don't edit so much. I just edit most of that goes like that. Most of the pictures that go in social media and everything. But right now, yun nga, parang weekends, I'm always, of course, in shoots, almost always in weddings. So that's what I do. And then weekdays, I spend time here in the office. Because we manage so many things now. We have Metrophoto Siargao nga, we have Next by Metrophoto, we have all the other photographers. So I make sure that I'm their quality control now, more of that. And then the good thing also is, you know, here in the office, the gym is near, my kids' school is near, so I get to take care of them. I get to like spend time with them. I get to like also work out. So I get to cramp a lot of things now in one day. But yeah, that's a typical day. So it's a combination of so many things. Sometimes I get to visit the shop and things like that. But that's kind of like the typical day if I have time not traveling.
Okay. So, what's the best investment you've made in terms of, let's say, equipment or gear? I mean, aside from siguro like obviously camera, but like aside from camera, siguro like what would you say has been like a good investment for you?
I think I don't know. I think for me na lang, para let's just say that my very first camera na lang, parang because during that time, I didn't have that much like money to purchase something, no. Parang I think that camera that I got, which is a 350D, parang I had to I think my credit limit in my credit card then was how much it was, parang ganyan, or even less. So I had to put out some cash. So I had to pay 24 months for I forget how much it is, but maybe it's like 30 something or 40 something thousand, parang ganyan. But of course that started everything for me, no. Parang
do you still have that camera?
Yes, it's in our pile somewhere in the house, parang ganyan, all of there. So yeah, but that's very important because of that, parang I kind of put all my money there, and it kind of worked out for me after that. So I think that one, because after that, you know, all that I buy computers or cameras, they're all the same naman. It's really what I did with that first camera that I got that made it so special.
The first camera has to be displayed somewhere here in the office.
Oo nga, no, parang ganyan, no. That's a good idea. That's a nice branding piece, no, like a conversation piece, no. Yeah, that's a good idea, Ken. Yeah.
Tsaka I like what you said. Na it's not about having the best top of the line equipment. Diba? It's what you do with whatever you can,
Yeah, that's good. I think to expand on that, I think that's how we are, parang with Metrophoto. Like I say nga, we're all about efficiency. Parang I think you come to a point where a certain camera is really enough, no. You don't have so many things. What you do with your other resources, we use that on other things, like probably R&D with what new albums we can get to the clients and everything. So it's not really all about the equipment. With us, it's all about it's like all the other parts of the operation of the brand.
How about do you have any book recommendations or?
I think I'm almost finishing one book right now. I haven't read a book for a long while because I was always editing and Pero ngayon parang I've started to I got this book. It's named Endurance. It's the story of Ernest Shackleton. Have you heard about him?
Yeah, of course.
So he wanted to do an exploration across the Antarctic continent, no? Antarctica.
Yeah, and then they got stranded.
They got stranded and everything. So parang it was nice because it's it's really the pushing the human limits to its limits. And then also I like how his leadership was described there, parang how he kept the group together, how he kept them motivated, like being in that dire situation, parang ganyan, and how he managed each personality para conflict doesn't arise. So galing din nung story ng book. So yes.
Actually, speaking of books, you also recently released your own book called
yes, ako nga pala. Yeah. So yeah, I would recommend that as well. So para mas maganda pa yun sa Endurance. Thanks for reminding me.
What made you decide to to create or launch your own book?
Okay, I'll tell the story of the book. So parang actually related dyan kung ba't ko nabasa yung Endurance na book eh. So I was in Kenya last year with Aaron. So we were in this very posh private reserve. It's Naipalad in Kenya. Actually that's why my office is set up like this as well. It's inspired by that eh. Parang it's colonial Africa, parang colonial Africa. So it's kind of like that. So we're there, ganda-ganda doon. Parang there are big books, African books. Then we're reading through it. Of course, that was our 4th time in Africa na. So parang shooting sa amin. Ang ganda, Aaron. Parang tingnan mo, like all the wildlife are here. Like things that we also shoot. But of course, we are wedding photographers eh. How can we have a book, no? Parang there's nothing different with what I shoot. There's nothing different with what you shoot. You just shoot weddings, right? Clients are gonna be there. So you cannot have a book like this. So hindi tayo ganito. So parang, I'm resigned to that, na parang I will never have a book. And then Aaron gave me the idea na parang, di ba, you're different naman, Oly. Parang, you've traveled so much. Why don't you do a book where you title it, Love in 7 Continents. Love Around the World. Parang ganyan. Parang we've been to 6 continents na. The only thing we haven't been to is Antarctica. So parang, sige, let's try that. Para if we get to go to Antarctica, then we'll do a book. Yeah, I think that's deserving of its own publication kasi we can claim na parang, yeah, we did weddings in all 7 continents, parang yun. And of course, that didn't happen. No, we weren't able to go. It's so hard. I researched so much about Antarctica, how to go there, and what's possible. And we found different routes and different prices on how to go there. Pero super hirap talaga siya. To be honest, I had a couple of clients who were willing. It's more of timing. You can only go there late January to February. That's the best time to go because it's summer there. No, other times you're gonna die. Yeah. So parang hindi talaga siya for traveling. So yun. So hindi na tuloy yun. So parang okay, actually I have to thank Aaron for the idea. He gave me the idea to do a book for my 40th birthday. So parang which was early this month, no. So parang so it wasn't gonna happen, but of course that gave me the mindset na parang yeah, I'm not naman, well, I don't wanna sound so mayabang, but I'm not naman a typical wedding photographer. I do a lot of things that are different, parang ganyan. So parang what else am I different? What else am I different? So parang isip namin like with wildlife, no. The things that we shoot with wildlife are really parang nothing has done that, like. And the animals that we work with, tigers, whales, rhinoceros, talagang things that no one has done. So parang yeah, let's do that na lang. Let's see if we have enough material. So we put it all together, and yeah, I think that we had enough material to say na parang yeah, this is worthy of its own publication. So we entitled it Wild, so that it's gonna be like all my pictures of my clients with wildlife. So that's all that's in it, parang ganyan. And it's a very good quality book, of course, coffee table book. It's huge. It's really, what we're Metrophoto is known for is all nice quality. So and then after that we said na, sige, we do Wild, and then the second part will be the 7 continents when we do it. So parang right now we're in no rush to do it anymore because we had this for your 40th birthday, and we're gonna title the second one, whenever that happens, World. So it's gonna be Wild and then World. So it's gonna be that's the 2-prong attack. So hopefully it happens. It's kind of like that.
I like it.
Kaya reading about Antarctica and everything, I bumped into like how Ernest Shackleton is, and then he had a book, so I read it. So yeah, that's kind of like how I got to do it. So related siya.
Nice. Ang ganda. So, so right now the book is available online through your website.
Yeah. So we are, because it's self-published, we did like a 40-piece run the first time. So those are all all sold out, and the second batch is coming in. So we have not distributed those yet kasi nga wala pa. But yeah, right now we can pre-order online, and then later on once we start identifying places where those can be bought as well. So we'll announce it na lang. Para ganyan. Yeah.
So are all the copies autographed?
Parang there are not too many naman. So parang kaya ko siyang so when you pre-order in the website, if you there's a place there where you can put a note if you want us to sign it, so I can sign it. Yeah.
Nice. Galing. Thank you. Yeah, I was so excited when I saw you post about the book project. Parang I think it's very...
thank you. That's pretty, that's really satisfying for me, like to parang have a book na parang I know that, to be honest, of course, I feel that it's deserving of a book. Parang I just didn't do a book for the sake of doing it, and like it closes out my 40th year, my 40th year here on Earth. So parang that's pretty for me. It really feels so fulfilling to be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay. On that note, what is your definition of success? Like, do you think you've achieved it?
Um, um, I think, it's very tricky, when you say success, it's always relative, di ba? Parang what success is for one person is it could be very simple, just to, just simple things like family, and there are people who want to be, a mogul, like a Silicon Valley superstar, something like that. So it's all relative, no? But, yun nga, for me, I feel that in another light, you can also measure success, I feel, no? Parang, you can say it's relative, but you can also measure. I think that success should be measured by a certain person's potential, eh. Parang ganyan. Every person has different potential. Of course, some people are born with so many, like, with a silver spoon right in their mouth. So, I mean, I feel that they are expected to do more because every resources are with them.
Correct.
There are people who come from really, like, what do you call that? Parang
less
fortunate background, no?
Yeah.
Parang of course you can expect that person to be like, someone who's a business tycoon, right? So I think people should be measured people's success should be measured based on the limit of that potential. Parang hanggang saan ba siya, di ba? Kasi iba kasi, of course, one-off na yan. Kung naging Bill Gates ka, naging they're one-off. Pero of course, most people can be measured that way, I feel. So parang yun. Having said that, parang ganyan, I feel naman na with me, parang yun nga, I set realistic goals for myself, eh. So parang, I would have wanted to be an NBA player, to be honest. pero yun nga, that's so unrealistic for me, but that would have been nice. O maski parang maski assistant coach, di ba? Parang si Eric Spoelstra, mga ganyan, di ba? He was a video guy. Tapos, di ba? So, something like that.
Up the ranks.
Oh, if you knew that, parang siguro nag-video guy na ako. But that's really the no? Parang you wait 30 years if you're really good, at least assistant coach, di ba? Parang yan, mas si G League. Anyway, so parang for me, parang yeah, I think with what I've accomplished, I'm pretty happy with it, and mostly because parang this is what I feel I can do. I can dream more, but I feel that I would just feel bad if I don't achieve it. Parang I set myself up for failure if I do that. So right now, I think I dreamed a little bit above average, and I feel that I got it. So I'm pretty happy with it. So the rest of, whatever life has to offer for me, I'll keep doing that na lang so that, you get to enjoy your life. I think that's the secret to it. It's really just making sure that you be satisfied with what you have, no? Or doon ka lang sa mga medyo achievable lang talaga. It's
Okay.
Expectation setting lang.
Okay, let's say, we're heading towards the end of the show, no? There's these few questions that I like to ask. So, you mentioned earlier around 2006 when you were, starting to dabble into photography, and then 2007 was when you decided to go for it. So, it's been, a wild ride, diba? These past 12 years. No pun intended. But knowing what you know now, if you were given a chance to go back in time to yung day na, I don't know if you remember kung may specific day na you decided, sige, I'm gonna start my own wedding or my photography business. If you can go back to that day na you decided it, and let's say you were given a minute lang to go back there and talk to the Oly Ruiz of 2007, and if you had a chance to say something to him, what would you say to him? What advice would you give to him?
Feeling ko during that time when you're very young, no, I think you're really that's from a lot of you, but you tend to be really immature, no. You tend to be selfish, no. Parang I feel that that has, if I went so much like that, I was egotistic as well. If I went so much like that, I feel that I have grown Metrophoto to even bigger, taking it bigger to bigger heights, and then yung scale niya mas malaki din. Parang I feel before that I just want to take all the credit for myself. So I feel that's the reason why parang Metrophoto was small for a long time, no, parang ganyan. So I feel it had to come to a point where I had those issues, like those struggles, for me to realize na parang you can always let go. You can do something else. You can let other people handle things, parang ganyan, so that you become bigger. So parang hindi ka lang parang everything is in one bag, and then when you lose that, everything is gone, parang ganyan. So I think that's what I want to Ito yung part na parang you don't have to get all the credit for you to feel what do you call that feel good, no, parang gano'n. I think that's how it is, parang ganyan.
Do you think the young Oly will listen to you?
No, yun nga eh. Parang hindi, parang he thinks he knows everything. So, definitely hindi. Parang masarap siyang batukan.
Baka dapat dala mo yung book. Sabi mo, hindi mo magagawa.
Eto, tingnan mo to. Hindi mo to magagawa. Hampas ko to sa'yo.
Okay, so again, you've accomplished a lot these past 12 years, culminating in this beautiful book. What else are you looking to accomplish over the next 10 years?
For me, parang, to be honest, it's just, parang, to continue na lang with the path of Metrophoto. It doesn't have to be so big anymore. Parang for me, it's just really maintain the quality, the integrity of it, the brand. Parang I just want it to be, when you hear about Metrophoto, we maintain it for so long. I think yun din naman yung sustained excellence. That's hard to do. Yeah. And if we can go more into like kasi with Wild as well, we want to like be more what do you call that, more unselfish in a way, giving back. So I think with conservation and everything, so I want the brand to be in that sense naman, like after taking so many profits, now we want to like give back a little bit to the community and everything. So I think yun papunta na more mature brand for Metrophoto. That's what I want na lang. With myself, parang yun na lang. I mean, where Metrophoto goes, that's part of me as well. And for me personally, it's more of my family. I just want to make sure they're healthy, well taken care of, and I think I'm okay na, parang ganyan. Oo. Parang we're not we're not too young anymore. Parang isip mo, first when you're young, I wanna be this, I wanna be that, I wanna accomplish everything, parang ganyan. But of course, when you're a bit older na parang, yeah, time is really limited, no? Parang if you've done all that you can before, so ito is time to like medyo ka na ng konti. Chill na ng konti, oo.
So, very last question. But before I ask that, where can people follow you if not following you right now?
So in Instagram, I'm mostly active there, and that's where a lot of the things I share. It's at the Metroman. That's letter D, then Metroman. So that's where. And then from there you can see all our other accounts. But yeah, for Metrophoto, it's at my Metrophoto.
Okay. Yeah. So that's also where they can order the book, mymetrophoto.com.
Yeah, so the website is mymetrophoto.com. The links are there to order the book, and all of our works are there. It's updated. Yeah.
Okay. So the final question: how do you want to be remembered?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think I just want to be, I don't have to be naman. That's rin for me. Parang I'm not, what do you call that? I'm not a person who's very kasi personable. I feel that my circle is very small. So parang I feel na parang parang I don't have to be liked by so many people. Because that's not my personality. I just want to be remembered as someone who didn't harm anyone. I don't have to be I don't have to touch the lives of so many people. I just don't want to be remembered as parang caused harm to any person. Parang I just want to be someone who did his best. Parang he did his for his family and his work. Parang yan, integrity. Parang yan, and then that's it. Ganun lang.
Right. That's it. Thank you so much, Oly. This has been great.
Thank you, Kendrick. It's fun. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's fun to share like all of those insights na parang ngayon lang din, most of them parang ngayon ka lang din naisip na parang pwede palang yun, tanungin or ganyan. Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review the show on iTunes. It will help more people discover the show. You can also share a screen cap of the show on your social media accounts. Make sure to tag me and let me know which part of the episode you like or didn't like. All feedback is certainly welcome, so feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at KendrickCo to let me know what topics you'd like to be covered next and who you want to hear or learn from in future episodes. Until next time, do the work you want to see done, because life's too short to not be creating your life's work.